How you guys?
Does it give you a lot of satisfaction to see guys that you recruited come out here and perform like this and know that they're getting ready to have a payday soon?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of, for me, it's first of all graduation. That's where it starts for me, and then secondly is seeing these guys fulfill the dream and have an opportunity to be a part of Pro Day. It's something that we don't really spend a lot of time talking about, but you kind of know it's always looming out there. This is something they all dream about, having a day, and you want to see them do well. But I thought our guys did a good job today, and this is now they can get back to being football players. We can get all the combine stuff and all these things that I think are totally irrelevant. Kind of like the ACT and SAT. I mean, I've been around some people that unbelievable ACTs and didn't do well in school, and some people that did terrible that did great. At the end of the day, it's about who you are on the inside, and all this is being evaluated on the outside. Not that doesn't matter, but they can get back to being players now. But it's fun. Woody does a great job of kind of orchestrating this day. I think the scouts enjoy being a part of it. But I'm happy for them, and especially the fact that every one of them are graduated. Cordray, I think, has got 1 hour left, but everybody's got their degree, and he'll have his by this summer.
Hey, Dabo, you have had a bunch of good receivers, obviously, coming through here, and everyone's all talking about Mike Williams, but I wanted to ask you about Artavis Scott. I mean, is he a guy that you think could really thrive, like maybe even a slot at the next level?
I think Artavis is an incredibly underrated football player. He's really hard to tackle. He's excellent with the ball in his hands. He's dynamic in that he can do a lot of things. He's going to be a great special teams player. I've never seen anybody catch him. He's got unbelievable football speed, and he's really developed. He came here as just kind of a football player, and he's really developed into a really good receiver. So, same thing. He's going to be a guy that just makes plays, and one of the hardest guys that we've had come through here to tackle. I've just seen, he breaks tackles, he extends plays. With the combination of that and his ability to play teams and return, I think he's in for a nice little run here.
Dabo, in your mind, is Deshaun the best player in this class, in this draft class?
Oh, no question. Absolutely. That's an easy question.
What does it say about this program to have John Fox, Mike Tomlin, all these scouts show up year after year?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate those guys coming down here. It's always good for our players to see that type of interest, and not just these guys, but future players to know that hey, you put the work in, you pay the price. They a lot of these guys, they've seen these guys kind of mature and grow up, and so to know that you're going to have those type of folks from the NFL, the GMs, a lot of GMs here today, a lot of coaches, a lot of some head coaches. Again, I think that just means they're serious about evaluating these guys. And at the end of the day, that's what you want. You just want a chance, and you want to be evaluated. And I know it's not like this at every pro day out there. So we're very thankful. And John Fox and I were over laughing because he's a big reason why we got that indoor facility. He said, "You remember when you gave me that little golf umbrella? It was pouring down rain out here. We were on that field when Spiller was doing his pro day." And that's really kind of the spark that got it going for that indoor. Some of you local media guys, y'all remember that. It's embarrassing. But CJ never complained. And to have a facility like that, because it's one day and you want to give them the best possible opportunity and environment to be successful. So to have this facility has been an unbelievable blessing.
How nice is it? You said that's an easy question about Deshaun. Why is it?
He's the national champion. He's back-to-back Davey O'Brien, back-to-back Manning. Back-to-back finalist for the Heisman. He's a winner. The production speaks for itself, but it's also the things that you don't see. It's what's inside him. It's what's in between his ears. It's the type of young man he is. He's the complete package. He's got it all. And he's a guy that day one, he's chemistry day one. He's leadership day one. He changes the locker room day one. He impacts free agency day one. He makes everybody better day one. He makes the coaches better day one. He's an unbelievable young man that is very, very gifted, and
What-
proud of him.
What did Mike Williams, you think, prove today with his 40 time?
Well, I just think people want to just see his long speed. I mean, he's run by a lot of fast dudes, so that they have times on. I just think they hadn't seen him run, and I figured he'd be somewhere in the fives, and but he's the complete package. As I've said, he's the great combination of everything we've had come through here. He's the most complete. He's got just the dog and toughness of Jerron Brown and Adam Humphries, and he's got the freaky athleticism and ball skills of DeAndre Hopkins, and he's got the route running ability and some explosive power of Sammy. And so he's just he's a handful. We had the Mike Williams rule. If there's only one on him, he's wide open. If there's two, they better be real tight on him. So he's just he's a handful and definitely NFL ready the minute he gets there.
Wayne probably helped himself with his 40 time, but there's a lot more to him than speed, too.
Yeah. Wayne's just a grinder, man. Y'all have heard me talk about him many times. First of all, he's durable. I mean, the guy's had more 100-yard games than anybody in the history of this school, and he did it in 3 years, and not really a full 3 years. That's how durable he is, and then he just, because he doesn't miss games, and then he's just. A lot of y'all remember he was a linebacker in high school, and a lot of people offered him as a linebacker, and Tony really did a good job evaluating him. We had him in camp. That's what helped us. In that, we think this kid can really be a running back, and. But he plays running back like a linebacker. I mean, he punishes people. You very seldom do you see him being the hittee. He is usually finishing the blow, and he's just a violent runner, slashing kind of a guy that gets better as the game goes, and again just keeps bouncing up. I think he's improved tremendously in the passing game. That was an area of his game as a young player that he'd never really done. I mean, just never been asked to do it. And so he's worked really hard to polish himself up and be a more complete guy. He's great as a protector, unbelievable physical presence in the passing game. So somebody's going to get a good one in Wayne Train.
Fans and media love to talk about Deshaun and Mike, but safe to say that these NFL scouts know Cordrea Tankersley.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's everybody's looking for a great corner, and everybody's looking for a long corner, and he's in a physical corner, and one that doesn't mind tackling, and he's all of those things. So he's got a bright future. Obviously ran incredibly well at the combine, which we all knew he would. He's got good ball skills. Sometimes these guys, they've got great feet and technique, but they're not finishers on the ball. He is a finisher when he gets his hands on the ball, and another guy that can play all the special teams. So he's a guy that can go over there for us. He played a lot of boundary corner. We put him on the biggest guy, but I think he's another guy that'll get his name called pretty early.
How nice is it to be the type of program that can get exposures for guys like Schuessler and Estes and Grant Radicovic?
It's great. Well, they're all part of it, and Nick probably would have started for a lot of schools out there. That's what I love about him. First of all, he stayed. And secondly, who he is as a young man. And thirdly, he was always ready. He prepared. The maturity in him and how he prepared every week, just like Deshaun, to be ready for his team if needed. It takes a special kind of guy to do that. And as I told the scouts that, I was like, you're not wasting your time evaluating this guy and giving him a shot. He's a lot better than people know, because they just haven't had a chance to see him like we have. So, and then Estes is a specialist and a snapper, and those guys play till they're like 50. Somebody's got to retire or die, I guess, to one of them jobs to come open. So it's all about timing, and I'd love to see him get an opportunity, but if not, he'll be a GM. In fact, that's what he told him. Hey, if you don't have a spot for me on the field, save me one in the front office. He's a great young man.
Dabo, is there anything that you want a guy like John Fox to know about Deshaun that he might, like you said, kind of behind the scenes stuff?
Yeah, I certainly. I had spent a lot of time with him today, and all these guys, talking to him. Just who he is. Again, it's easy to watch the tape, and you can poke holes in people, and that's when I some of the media folks got mad at me because I said if you pass on him, you pass it on Michael Jordan, and but I don't know how to articulate the type of greatness that's inside of him. And for me, that's what Michael Jordan represents because that's what I grew up with. And I'm sure when Michael Jordan was coming out of North Carolina, his three-pointer probably wasn't very good. And he probably had some flaws and whatever when you start poking holes on him. But it's who he was. It's that will, that drive. You can't coach that. And that's what I want to make sure that I articulate. This guy's brilliant between the ears, and he's special in his heart. And he's always the same, his character, his integrity, and he's at his best when it's the biggest moment.
Sticking with him, I mean, does it surprise you with even all the things you mentioned, the accolades and everything, that he's not getting more consideration for the higher spots?
Oh, I think he's gotten plenty of consideration. I mean, he won't be sitting there long. I can tell you that. Don't buy all the stuff you hear. He won't be there long. He'll be out the gate early, and but wherever he goes, he's really not worried about it. I promise you, he's not worried about any of that stuff. He just is anxious to see where the good Lord takes him, and wherever he goes, he's going to bloom where he's planted and be great. But they'll all figure it out.
Thanks, Coach.